Okay, so now we're recording, and
Okay.
I just want to say hello to everybody who's tuning in or is going to watch a little bit later. Before we start, if I could just have your name and just, I guess, where you're from and where you're based, kind of, because I actually don't know this.
Okay. My name is Hashima Watts. I am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I am living in Houston. I've been living in Houston for like thirty or more years now. I'm aging myself. But
What?
yes, I've been in
No
Houston for,
way. I
yeah,
thought you were in like North Carolina or something.
no. I'm in
You are not from
Houston.
North Carolina at all.
No, I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, okay?
What? No
Yeah.
way. But do your parents live in North Carolina or?
They live in South Carolina, actually.
Okay, I was off. I was just a
Yeah,
little.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
no.
I did was I just looked up some questions to ask a friend you just met. Just we're just gonna keep it cute. We're gonna keep it light. It does
Okay.
get a little serious, but not
Of
too deep, you
course.
know? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So the first question is, what type of music do you like to listen to?
Okay, so I listen to Nasheed. That's my politically correct answer. Okay.
Wow,
How
mashallah.
yes, however, what kind of music do I like? I like country, depending on who it is. I like R&B. I like Indian music. I love Indian music actually.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
yeah, like Arabic music, Urdu, Punjabi. Like I love a lot of things to be honest. Love
Oh,
a lot of
wow,
things.
that's so cool. Okay, and then have you been to any concerts? If so, which ones?
Um, I went to, it wasn't an intentional concert. It was actually at a car show. I went with a friend of mine to a car show and they had a concert at the car show. And she was like, let's go. This is when I was younger. And I went and I hated it. Absolutely hated
I'm
it.
not.
So I
Yeah.
never went again.
Yeah,
Never
I'm
went.
not a concert person at all. Like,
Yeah.
you will never find me at a concert.
Yeah. It's too many people, too loud, the speakers were like huge. And I was like, how can y'all hear? It was just too much. It was overstimulating for me.
Same, agreed. Okay, and when is your birthday? You could just say the date and the month.
March 13th.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm a Pisces. I'm trying to hold that back because people are like, I don't say it.
Girl, I was
But
good.
I'm a
I already
Pisces.
knew when you said 13th, I was like, oh, she's a Pisces and I'm an Aquarius. I mean, it's addicting. It's a really big part of our
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
And then
So you're
beach
not
or
going to answer any
mountains?
of these?
Oh, okay, well, I can answer
I'm
too.
so
Sure, sure.
curious about your answers.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. What kind of music do you like? I'm definitely a pop girl.
Okay.
I love me some Bollywood music as well. Just obsessed.
Okay.
Have I been to any concerts when I was in high school and like just never again? Like just
Mhm.
don't very overstimulated, crowded, loud, just not fun? And my
Mhm.
birthday is January 28th and I'm an Aquarius.
Oh, my son
And
is the 26th.
oh
Yeah.
cool, nice.
Mhm.
And then the fourth question is beach or mountains? I'm gonna pick mountains.
Oh, beach. I was like beach or mountains. Um, hmm. I would say beach.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, beach. Definitely beach. Even though I can't swim, but
Same,
beach.
same, but it's the sand for me. That's why I go with the mountains.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's the height for me, which is why I don't go with the mountains. But it's beautiful. Both are beautiful. So,
Beautiful, yes. And then
yeah.
coffee or tea?
Tea all the way.
Me too.
Yes, tea.
Yes,
Herbal
yes,
tea, all
yes,
the teas. Bring me tea.
yes.
I love
Okay,
coffee
and
too,
then
though.
yeah, because I was like, I know your sister's obsessed with coffee,
Yeah,
but
she's obsessed. Yeah. But you know what? I don't like things that are addictive. Like I love the flavor of coffee, but I never like when I heard people say, oh, I'm getting a coffee headache. I haven't had it in a long. I don't want anything that makes me dependent.
no
So
way.
yeah. But anyway, so
Agreed.
that's
Same
why.
here. And then what's your favorite type of food?
Ooh. I'll say Southern just to keep it simple, but I love all the things. I love all the
Tell me some examples of
Chinese,
Southern
Chinese,
dishes.
Mexican, Southern dishes.
Yeah.
Macaroni and cheese,
Okay.
candy yams. You know the typical stuff.
Like
Candy
Thanksgiving kind of,
yams,
you know?
barbecue ribs,
Yes, yes, yummy.
cornbread. That just all the typical, Southern foods when you think of going to a Southern restaurant, what they'll have there.
Oh,
Yeah, but
wow.
I love Italian food, Chinese food, Pakistani food. There's very few foods that I don't actually like. I don't like Vietnamese food. I don't really like Nigerian food.
I was
So it's
about to
more so
ask you
what,
Nigerian. I was about to ask.
yeah, no, it's more so what don't I like? Because I like so many different foods. Mexican. I think I've covered basically the Mediterranean. Like I just love a lot of different foods. It's more so what
Me
dishes
too.
I like from the, cuisines, but I love a lot of
Yes.
different foods.
Yeah, I love Chinese. I love, Mediterranean,
Hmm.
just Afghan, everything. Just
Hmm.
love it, you know?
Yeah.
And then, okay, I want to skip the next few questions because I see one that I really want to ask you. And
Okay.
it's okay. It says, "Are you religious?"
Oh, you know what? It depends on what someone else's perspective or opinion about what religious is. I would say yes, but when I meet people who are more religious, I'm like, maybe I'm not. you know, People like, for example, I have a lot of children. And so I'm one of those people that I don't like to disrupt other people. So I've never been a Juma goer. Like I didn't ever make a habit of going every Juma. But then there are people who, when I say that, they go, you what? How could you skip Juma? Like what? Like that's the center thing of the week, or whatever. So I would say that I am, but someone else may not agree. So, but my
Yeah,
answer
and
for me is yes.
I would say I am as well. And as far as the whole Juma thing, like, I mean, as far as I'm aware, it's obligatory to men, but not women.
Right.
So why are they shocked? Like if you're not going, it's not like, you know, as important as, especially if it's a man who's saying, "Oh, I don't go on Fridays," you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's my perspective. I'm like, which of the favors of your Lord will ye deny? As a mother,
Yeah.
I've had, batches of children that were, two, and then I have another one and they're two. And it's like, I'm not going for my baby to cry through half of the khutbah. I'm not doing it. So,
Exactly, exactly. And
yeah.
I'm sorry that someone, I mean, anyone's ever made you feel obligated when you're clearly not, you
Right.
know? As not,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even a mom, but like I was like a goer, I was like diligent. I
Hmm.
was so committed. And then one day just hit me like, I don't really need to go, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why am
But
I
I'm
putting
just
this
saying,
pressure on
so it's
myself?
subjective.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
exactly. That's
is
how I
very.
feel. So for me, it's
Would
subjective
that be a
whether
deal breaker for you in as far as like making friendships?
if someone goes or doesn't go.
If it doesn't go.
Oh no, not at all. I mean,
Yeah.
for me,
But
I'm
what, okay, what
I'm
about
I'm
in a man though? Like in a brother, would that be a deal breaker?
in a prospective spouse. You mean?
Yes, yes. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm with you
Yeah.
100%, girl.
Yeah, because it's going to be, if you're lax in this area, you're going to be lax in other areas. And this comes from my own personal experience. So it's
Right.
not like I'm fresh, and well, people that are watching don't know, but I've been married before. So I know now the things, the signs of, what is an indication of something else. So to me,
Right.
you have to be committed to going to Juma.
Right, right. I agree with you 1000%.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like it's required for you, it's an obligation,
Yeah, right.
and it's the bare minimum, really,
It sure is. Yep.
yeah. And so that's good because I feel like I'm really like I like attending events at the mosque like
Mhm.
every like once or twice a month. Like
Right.
it's obviously mostly geared towards families and kids. I
Mhm.
mean, I've also been married before and now I'm just kind of, in this space as a single Muslim woman, and it's like you really have to, kind of make your own tribe,
Yeah, you do. You really
You really
do.
just gotta
Nobody
just
talks
find
about
your
that.
crew.
We don't
Yeah.
talk about that enough. We don't talk about that
Yeah.
enough. That's so true. Because even as a person who didn't go regularly, when I go now, I do kind of feel like I'm okay just in my skin. So it's not that I feel uncomfortable, but I don't have people that it's like, oh, sister so and so, oh, like I don't have that. I get in there and I get out basically. And so
Gotcha.
that was a good point that you made. Like, yeah,
It's
yeah.
very important to just kind of just have your own community because
Hmm.
you'd be surprised at how many people are kind of in the same boat as us, who
Yeah,
are just
yeah.
looking for sisterhood.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just kind of
Absolutely.
have that support for yourself, your kids. Like
Yeah.
um I recently joined like some hiking group.
Hmm. Oh,
And
wow.
it happens to be it's open to all faiths, but the only folks who show up happen to be Muslim.
Oh, wow.
And
Really?
so
Is it who
through
started
this,
it? Did a Muslim start it?
yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay, okay. That's probably why.
Yeah. And so, but there used to be a lot of like Hindus who came and like
Uh-huh.
Indians who were of different faith. And when I joined, it was always Muslim. And so I've really gotten to like know these women at like a deeper level.
Mm,
And they'll
yeah, yeah.
share their stories of, not being married for like, 10 plus years, being a single
Ooh.
mother,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah.
would you get back out there? Like, would you like, I was going to ask you this, like, if you could give advice to the brothers and sisters who are out here searching, would you tell them to get on the apps or stay off the apps?
I personally would not tell them to get on the apps. I just wouldn't. Now, I have to say this because it may be out there somewhere. I was on an app. When I got divorced, I've been divorced twice. When I first got divorced the first time, I was on an app. I was on there. I'm a mother and my children are my pride and joy. Like I did the whole bio thing. And I got like 2 to 3 messages and I just got grossed out and I just stopped going on there. It was just, it was the debates of Salafi, Sunni, Sufi. It was just so much stuff that I was just like, I don't want to do this. So for
Uh-uh.
me, the apps are too much of a barrier between who people really are to me. Like it's just like kind of a presentation of what I want someone to believe about me. And so that's for me why meeting somebody who is in my space or that I know or that I get to see or that I don't know. It's just something about the whole internet era that we're in. I don't know. My answer is no. Did I go too far in detail?
No, no, I agree with you. I am really glad you said that. I'm really glad that I am someone who has, been in and out of apps as well, just
Yeah,
because I just was like, okay, what else do I have? What are my other options?
right.
But but just the quality and just the vibrations and the energy is like so low. And
Oh,
I'm
on the
like,
apps?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's just the quality, it's not there. And I'm just like, I'm a liver, I like to live life,
Mhm. I
you know,
see. You and
like
Mimi.
I just want to be outside. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I love to post. I don't get me wrong. I love me some social media. If it wasn't for social media, we would have never met.
right, right. Hmm.
And be having this conversation. Like, I guess I've never really met you in real life, really,
Right.
right?
I don't think
And
so.
so, yeah. So, I mean, I love being on my phone too, but like, I still would love to meet someone like organically, like
Yeah.
outside,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you never met someone like online that you found like a
Absolutely.
connection.
I have. Yes. Not
Oh,
on
okay,
that.
okay.
Well, not on a dating app. Not on one of
Okay.
those Muslim hookup apps. Not hookup, I shouldn't
Yeah.
say hookup. But you know what I'm saying? Like
Girl,
not
that's
not
what it
the
is though. It is what it is. We gotta be
Yeah, I
gotta
didn't
keep it
mean it like
100.
that though. But I mean
Yeah.
like not on one of those apps where it's the intention is to get married. It's like on Facebook, for example, I've met several people. People have approached me and I've thought about it and I've, basically assaulted their page to try to vet them. You know what I'm saying? I've asked people about other people and stuff like that. So it's not that I'm against it. It's just that not what I would advise. If I were advising someone of like the best route, I wouldn't advise them to do that. Now, if they were determined to do that, then I would give them advice on how to go about doing it to where they maybe are safer or where their vetting process is more thorough or something like that. But just for me personally, I wouldn't recommend it. Like if it was one of my children, for example, I wouldn't say, oh, go get on an app. I wouldn't recommend if I wouldn't tell my child to do this thing or one of my family members, then I wouldn't tell someone else. So that's my gauge, whether I would or wouldn't give that advice. I wouldn't give it to my children. So, people
Oh
that
my
I
God.
really know and care about, I wouldn't tell them to do that. So,
Wow. I really appreciate you saying that.
oh,
That's
mashallah.
really that's huge because like I mean it's just like it's an option for
Yeah.
those who may not have the time to be
Hmm.
socializing and go to
Right.
events that exist,
Hmm.
but it should definitely not be the first option, I think, for most people, you know?
Hmm. Hmm. I think people,
Uh,
what I've heard before, it's funny because my mother and I just had this conversation like 2 hours ago. What people have said that I agree with is that you're not meeting the person, you're meeting their representative.
hmm.
So it's like
Wow.
whatever I want someone to see about my life, I can, just curate it. It's a curated thing. So if the person has a temper, you won't know because they could just not respond to your messages at the time that they're pissed off. Like there's
Right.
certain things that you just cannot see about a person through a phone or an app that are
That's
detrimental to the success of your relationship.
wow. Wow.
Yeah, so that's why. I mean, it's much deeper than just social media is fickle or whatever. But no, it's like some really serious things because if when we get married, we're supposed to be getting married with the intention to be with this person for the rest of our lives. Even though a lot of people
Yes.
are not doing it like that, and that's part of the problem. On both sides, people are like, I'll just get a divorce. I'll just get a divorce. But that's not how we're supposed to be. So I think the apps also make it easier for you to do that because you could just ghost somebody.
Right,
You
right.
could court them for this period of time and then just block them. And it's like, boop. And that's the end of that, and then on to the next. And nobody even knows. So
Yeah. I
anyway,
mean,
okay.
but these are real feelings. These are people's hearts that are involved. Like people
Right.
get
Yeah.
hurt. Like I've been
Yeah.
on that end where like, I matched with someone and I thought this was it. Like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
and just ghost, like just nothing. No feedback, no criticism, nothing like, hey, like could you let me know what it was like
Mm.
specifically so maybe I can, do
Yeah.
better with the next person I match with.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like when that happened to me, I had to sit down and be like, you know what? We're just gonna take a break from just seeking companionship and
Right.
just kind of seek to just pour into ourselves. Like I
Yeah.
just, went back to therapy,
Hmm.
weekly, and I was like, I don't want to go back unless I am not only healed, but am truly in love with myself.
Mm. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just was like, I really want to be like, I want to date me, and
Yeah.
court
That's
me.
really important.
Yeah.
That's
Cause
good.
like,
That's very good.
yeah, I mean,
I'm
I'm trying.
impressed.
I'm trying, but it's still hard because I'm a lover girl, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
fall
can
so
tell.
hard and I start planning the wedding right away.
Wait, hold on. Rashid. Oh, nice to meet you too. I want blue, blue flowers.
I wish I was kidding, but like I'm very like okay, I was telling my sister this, right? I keep meeting a lot of non-Muslim brothers,
Yeah.
and I'm just like every week I just pray like, "Ooh, who's the one who's gonna convert, for love?"
I can relate. No, I can honestly relate to that because there was a person before I got married the second time that I was strongly interested in, but he wasn't Muslim. But he was doing the Muslim bait thing. He was doing the
Yeah.
bait thing. Like, yeah, I think I've thought about being Muslim. And it's like after a point, I just got like, okay, you playing.
Oh
You're playing.
man. I mean, I'm
But
just
yeah, I
glad that I'm
mean,
not alone, Like
no,
it's
you're
a
not
real
alone.
thing. It's a real thing because you're
It
just like,
is.
okay, these are men of God. They're like religious and like they're devout. And it's just like it's just one more book you gotta accept?
Exactly. Exactly. A whole daily routine that you have to change. Because they gotta
So
pray every day, all day. Like what? That's funny as heck. But no, it's out there, and people just don't talk about it. I mean, I know many
right.
people who don't post about it or talk about it to people outside of their immediate circle. But there are people who definitely. I mean, there are some Muslim women we know that not that you and I know personally, but that marry non-Muslim men. They just marry a non-Muslim and hope they become Muslim. So it's a thing. It's a thing.
I mean, I was gonna ask you this, and you don't have to answer this, okay?
Okay.
But I'm asking myself this too, because I was hanging out with a friend and she asked me, like, is that important to you? Like, is that important that they convert, you know?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I just thought, like, my brain immediately thought, like, oh my God, I hope, like, I'm hopeful they will convert. Like, I mean, like, mind you, like, how soon should that come up with in a relationship? If, like, the question of would you convert for love, like, for
You mean,
these,
okay, so you're saying you meet someone,
yeah.
they demonstrate interest in you, or you demonstrate interest in them, but they're not Muslim.
Mm,
No, just say it is.
not really.
Don't bite
No,
your
that's not
lip.
exactly the flow, but you just happen to meet somebody and you
Yeah,
have a great conversation,
yeah.
right?
Uh,
I'm not saying like no one's pursuing anyone, no one's shown
okay, okay,
interest.
okay.
I'm just saying, like, I've just met,
Yeah,
like, it's like a one-time thing where you have like this magical conversation and like this connection is like, I don't know, undeniable to me, like I'm the one
yeah,
who's like, this is someone who's standing out to me, like you are standing out to me. So
yeah.
I'm hopeful, like, that maybe we can talk and like get to know each other, and
Hmm.
hopefully down the
Yeah,
road you
yeah, yeah,
convert.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're saying, should that be a conversation? Well, for me, it always has been.
Like day one.
No, not, well, day one, you don't know. Like, you really
Yeah,
don't know. You might see somebody that they're attracted, or you say they
yeah,
smell good, or, whatever the thing is that gets you
yeah.
like, ooh. But when a person, usually in my experience, men will demonstrate an interest, or I'll know that they have some kind of interest, right? Once that conversation happens, I say, oh, you have to be Muslim. And it's not, oh, you have to become Muslim to get with me. It's that, oh, Muslim women can't marry non-Muslim men. So, and I kind of leave it at
Wow.
that. Now, this particular person that I was telling you about, he started from the beginning going, I was interested in Islam, at a point, and but it's like with men, and I'm trying to, I don't want to be sexist, but they will investigate what you are about and then become that. So to me, there's kind of a danger in, and women do it too. So I'm not saying that's a male thing only, but people will figure out what you like and then pretend like they like that thing too, or they're interested in that thing too, just to get close to you. So for me, I put everything, honestly, I'm a person, I put everything out on the table from the beginning. When someone shows interest, it's like, okay, listen, I got this, I got that. This side of my hair is gone. Like whatever it is,
Okay,
I just
okay.
put it out there in the front because I'm too fragile. I had a section of my life where I was not, but it was a affectation because I had to survive, to not be sensitive or these things. But for me, I can't. My heart, it ain't that flexible to be hurt over and over and over again. So I'd rather that I have 4 laundry bags back there of baggage, and this is what it looks like. And these are all the ways that you'll be negatively impacted or positively impacted. Now, do you want
Hmm.
to take me to
Hmm.
coffee? Like that's how I am. Just because people get invested in, I don't know. Are we off topic?
No, we're not. We're totally on topic, girl. This is totally
Okay,
on
okay.
topic because
So my thing is that I don't like the idea of me or the other person falling deeply for half of me. I don't want to fall deeply for half of someone. So I'd
mm,
rather, before feelings get too deep, know what I'm getting deep with, if that makes sense. So with
wow.
my second husband, I had a whole list of questions for him. And I told him, listen, I'm strong willed. I'm in a singing group with my sisters. I sing. So if you have a problem with women singing, okay. I am not one of those people that just sits in the corner and shuts up. Not that I'm combative or I'm argumentative or any of those things, but I do have a voice. I have intelligence, intellect, and I use it when it's necessary. Like I told him everything. My
Hmm.
ex-husband does this and this and this. This is how you, I told him things that were like taboo, so to speak, because I know there are people who, like you were saying, that religious thing, that would say, you said that. But it's like, listen, I have these flaws physically. Like, I said these things because this is what is going to impact you. So I don't want you to like me and then oh, and then now all of a sudden it's different. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Mm,
it's like for me, I just rather be straight up from the beginning. And I ask that, I request
wow.
that of other people. And when people
Wow.
have approached me for marriage, I've said the things that are, difficulties that would impact them. And when I wasn't interested, I wrote a whole letter. Assalamu alaikum. I would like to, because to me, I just love dealing with people the way I want to be dealt with. Like you said,
Right.
if you turn me down after we seem to be interested in each other, don't just ghost me. What was it? Like, what was it? Am I too independent? And I don't really care so much because I'm going to start changing anything.
Mhm.
I just like to know what happened that we thought we were compatible, but then we're really not. So that with my next person, I won't get caught up when the markers of that same person I previously talked to are within this person. Okay, well, we weren't compatible. So just kind of getting smarter. So that's why I like to ask. And I'm the same way with job interviews. So why didn't you hire
Wow.
me? I'm just an
Exactly.
information gatherer. I'm an information gatherer.
Yes, I totally respect that. Like, okay, this is kind of this is still on topic. Would you
Uh,
say you fall easily in
no,
love,
I do not
or
at all. So
that's
when I
so
fall,
amazing. I can tell. I can tell because the way you have like these the questions, the
yeah,
preparation. Like, I love how you protect your heart so well.
yeah, it's been a problem though.
But I like that because, like you said, we're fragile. We are
Yeah,
fragile beings. Like,
yeah,
you really have to protect your heart. Like, I am kind of like, I was just telling my sister this yesterday, like, it's really hard for me. Like, my 20s, like, I'm in my 30s right now. Okay. My 20s, I
okay,
was chasing a lot. I was just
mhm,
chasing all these men who didn't want me. Right. And
okay,
now in your 30s, like, you get exhausted.
yeah.
You can't really chase like men
I
who are
don't
not
chase
interested.
either, and I don't
Yeah, no,
chase.
I stopped like in this
Yeah,
decade because number one, I'm tired. Number two, it's exhausting. Like, it's just not for me. And like,
yeah,
people will tell you men are gatherers, they're hunters, they're
yeah, yeah,
providers, they're pursue,
hmm,
blah blah blah, and
yeah.
all these things. But like I don't know if I'm like impatient, or I'm just like, like, I just tell my sister this. I just want someone to just ask for my availability.
Mm,
Like, are
yeah,
you available Friday night for dinner? Like, I
yeah.
want someone to ask for my availability so I can squeeze them into my busy schedule, you
Oh
know?
yeah, okay. I get what you're saying. Okay, yeah. I
Yes,
thought you
yes. So
meant be
I'm just,
pursued versus pursuing.
yes, yes, absolutely that. Like, I want to be pursued.
Yeah. Okay. No, see, and
And
I have a great deal of respect for women who can pursue. I don't want to. I don't know that I could deal with the rejection that men have been conditioned to deal with as a woman. I don't know that I could do that. So again, it goes to fragility. And it. I was gonna try to fix this to make it not sound like an ego thing, but it's like I think men were built to be the hunters and they are able to accept rejection, repeated rejection like that. I don't think women are built like that.
no, absolutely not. Like, because I said, like, with me, that it hurt me so much, like in my 20s, right? And now I was telling my sister, like, if I even have like the slightest idea if a man is not interested or not
Yeah.
seeking my attention or time,
Yeah.
uh, I just feel like my body just repels him because I'm just like, I
Mm.
don't want you if you don't want me?
Yeah, that's that conditioning. That's that mental psychological conditioning that it's like the triggers to protect yourself. Like now they set in because you've had repeated incidents that you can recognize now.
Yes.
Your body recognizes now that this ends bad. I recognize this. I had this feeling before. This ends bad. Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm grateful to be in this
Yeah, I
decade,
love
to
that.
just kind of be like, okay, we're gonna have a seat, we're just gonna be patient. Like,
Mhm.
now, as far as pursuing, I still will initiate, let's just say, hangouts, you
Okay.
know? Because
Okay.
I just want to just lock it in my schedule. I just want to
This is
I just want to say I
schedule.
am meeting this person at this time at this place. Like,
Yeah.
I just want them, like, before they ask me, I'll just ask them?
Okay. Okay. Now, do you think if you were to not ask, do you think it wouldn't happen?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I don't know if it's I'm just too impatient.
Okay, it's an impatience thing. Okay.
I don't know. Like I don't like I just go before there's an opportunity to be asked. Like I'm already like because it's just my schedule it just fills up so fast that I'm like I just want to put this in my schedule, you know? That
You know, this is so funny. I'm wondering if it's too forward for men.
mm,
I
yeah, I
think
don't know,
because I
maybe.
really, no, I'm not a good person to gauge because again, I don't pursue. I wait. Not even I wait. I'm just minding my business. I'm living life.
Wow.
I get pursued. So I'm not saying you don't. Okay, so that's for the record. I'm just saying like I wonder if men feel when they are pursued, if they feel like not masculine.
Ooh, girl, I don't know. I don't know because I mean, I'm like I said, I stopped, you know,
Yeah.
just
Did you
not
ever
on the
have you ever
apps.
asked anyone?
I don't think so. No.
Has
I
anyone
don't
ever told
remember.
you? Like said anything about I don't know, I feel like I want to be the one to initiate the have you ever been
The
asked that?
what?
The contact, the hangout, the whatever.
I mean, this goes with girlfriends too, with girlfriends as well,
Okay,
right?
okay.
This is with
This
girlfriends,
is
and
you, period.
this is me. I'm just like, are you available? I host, I put things together,
Oh,
you
okay,
know,
yeah.
whether it's birthdays or this or that. Um, I just, I mean, a lot of my friends are like, you don't allow them to approach or pursue you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm beating them to it, but at the same time, am I? You know, because like you said that question, do you think that it may not happen if I don't? And I don't know. Maybe like it wouldn't if unless I said something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just a little thing that I'm just trying to just like I'm working on it. I'm praying on it where I'm just have a seat, mind your business, like you said, and like let them just come to you. You know,
Yeah.
just stay busy. So I mean, I am trying that, but at the end, I'm still I'm just still a like I said, I'm a lover girl.
Yeah.
And I mean, I stopped chasing, I stopped pursuing, but I still initiate hangouts, right? So
Yeah.
it's a little tricky because like in the back of my head, I'm still hopeful, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm one of those people that is promotes just living your life
Wow.
and being open if the possibility comes. But I feel
Wow.
like the hopefulness for me, like if I were to go into a space of hopefulness, it's kind of almost like there's some space in my mind that I think is probably not going to happen. So I'm hopeful. But if I'm just open for when it happens, then do you get what I'm saying? Like it's kind of a
Yeah, I do
psychological,
100%.
yeah,
100%.
yeah. So hopefulness is like, but I'm just going to stay hopeful. I'm going to remain that's just how it would appear for me if I were being hopeful versus I'm living my best life. Okay. So if you see me over here living my best life and you want to attach yourself to it and let's live our best life together, then okay, so be it. But otherwise, I'm not like you'll never catch me. Well, Allahu Alam, but I've never been caught. I just can't wait for my Zoj. Like I've never, never done that
Right,
because I'm
right.
just
Wow.
living. I'm okay with being alone, and I mean that in any sense. Like when my kids are not here, when I'm not one of those people that's kind of like, can you come over? I'm by myself and I'm bored. I'm not one of those people. So it's like I'm just living. And if Allah blesses me with a companion to do that with, otherwise I'm chilling. But that's just me. Like I know that I have other sisters and they're different. Their dispositions are different. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow,
that's just how I
wow.
am. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. That is I am so happy we are having this conversation and I
Mashallah.
love the direction it's taking place because it's I think exactly what I really needed more than you
Oh,
realize.
mashallah. Oh,
Yeah, I feel like because you're just exude this like level of self-love that's just up here, you know?
and I wouldn't even, you know what? I wouldn't even have thought that based on my relationships, how long I
Yeah.
was in them, the type of relationships I was in, and how long I was in them. So it's kind of, I don't know if it's because of, I mean, I've always kind of prioritized, like had boundaries and things. I've always had boundaries ever since I was young. Um, but I'm surprised that you said that. That's beautiful. Mashallah.
Yeah, no, seriously, like I feel like you're at this place where you're very content, like with where you are, alhamdulillah, you know?
Yeah.
And you accept, um your current life as it
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
And whatever Allah has written for you, you accept that too, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I am like I said, I'm trying to just um get there, like get to that place
Yeah.
where I'm all content and I'm like
Yeah.
okay with just, doing this thing solo until
Mhm.
like someone, makes that decision, like you said, to attach to me, who wants to
Yeah.
join this
To
party,
have you be a complimentary piece of their life.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think
that's a
that there's a level of going for something that sometimes in that sense with when it comes with men, I feel like, I mean, just me personally, I don't have any judgment of how someone else chooses to do it and what has been successful for many people, because there are many women who go after the guy and it's successful and they live, long lives together. But for I think those men are rare, and I feel like they just need to feel like they're hunting, and sometimes there can be a level of almost arrogance or cockiness when they were pursued. They can
mm,
always rest back on, oh yeah, she came after me. Oh yeah, she, like, and it's almost like I feel like to an extent you have to maintain a certain level, or else the person can decide that, well, you wanted me. So you're not actually on the level that I liked you at. You're declining a little bit. So,
mm.
eh. But I think there's something with men that they have to want you more or
Oh,
enough to
wow.
do this or to do that to get you. And if they weren't required to do that, then your value is kind of lowered a bit. That's just my personal opinion
No,
and
I, I
experience.
I totally respect that. I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And like when you said, like, you were like, you, mashallah, get pursued,
Hmm.
you have always been someone that someone was either trying to court and,
Yeah.
win over your love, essentially.
Yeah.
And that's
Essentially.
how it should be. That's how
Yeah.
it is supposed to be. Like, so I'm glad I'm talking to you about this because I'm, like I said, my 20s I was chasing, right?
Yeah.
Now in my 30s, she's no longer chasing. She's
Yeah.
just
Mashallah.
she's staying busy. She is, pouring into herself
Yeah.
and just letting love come when it comes,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
just be ready to recognize it, ready
Very
to
good. Yeah.
know. Like I'll be honest, I don't really know what it's like to be pursued,
Girl,
Yeah,
it's so
I
exciting.
don't.
The feelings, the excitement,
Yeah,
the
I'm not
spoiling,
saying
the
if it's like a
gifts, the
barrier or if it's like like a wall that I have where it's like I don't allow the opposite sex to pursue or approach me.
hmm.
But like, I mean, my friend, this was a friend who was like, you just don't allow it. And so I'm trying to be open to love,
Yeah. Yeah. So I
So
really I would love to understand that more, but that could be another time.
yeah, because I
That
mean,
could be
like I
another
said,
time.
I was telling my friend this too, and she got really sad. I was like, girl, I was like, I don't get approached, I don't get pursued. And she was like, oh, don't say that. And I'm like, well, it's like, I'm not saying it's true, but I just don't feel it, I
Yeah.
don't feel
Yeah.
like the,
Well, you know if it's happened
yeah,
before. Like
yeah, like with the me, like, okay, I don't know if you've gotten or heard about the show Pop the Balloon and Find Love.
unfortunately.
Okay, well, I'm obsessed. I got your sister obsessed and hooked, and I
I
got
know,
my
girl.
own sister hooked, And
Yeah.
so, you know how she'll always ask, hey, is this someone that you would approach, Or is this
I
someone you
don't
would
watch it.
entertain?
I don't
What?
watch it. I don't know. I've seen a couple of clips, and usually it's someone sharing it, like to the feed that's on my friends list,
Right,
and I'll
right,
see
right.
a bit of it or whatever. I usually click it off.
Yeah, but like the guys will always get asked, Is she your type? Is she someone you would approach if you saw her
Yeah.
outside, you know,
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
grocery store or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I mean, I go to a lot of events and like I'm not saying that I'm approaching people, but like I said, this is with males and females. Like
Yeah.
I'm very extroverted and I'm very outgoing
And
and
that's
I
good.
don't
I
know
love
how to,
it.
yeah, yeah, because
Why do you
I
have to
don't
be
know how to,
different though? Why would you have
yeah,
to be different?
yeah,
Why
yeah. I mean,
I think that's where we mess up.
but there was
Did
this
you already
African
say
guy
you're
who called
impatient?
me on Instagram, or I called him. I don't remember. I called him, right? And
Uh,
he's Nigerian, and he's like, "You're really outgoing. Like, how would you what if you're too outgoing for a guy, you know? What if he's not
who said
okay with
this?
you
You said a
posting
Nigerian guy, just a
this
random
African,
guy?
like some some random Nigerian guy who I have on my like Instagram, right?
Uh,
He has
uh,
a girl and everything. He just wanted to like network, right? And
yeah.
so he's like, "Hey, let's talk,
You didn't
whatever."
catch the face.
Oh no, no,
You said he
I
just
have
wanted to network, and I went,
I mean like we followed each other for like a minute or something, and then he was like, "Oh, you're so outgoing, you're so positive, blah blah blah," and he was just like, he was saying it almost as if it was a bad thing, like you're too outgoing, you know, like
yeah.
this might be a problem for your partner that you're posting so much, and you're
I'm so tired of people telling us how to get a man. Just the idea
wow.
when men say that might be a problem, like our whole lives are centered around
Mhm.
this man. Whether we, it's about the man when we have him and when we don't have him. It's always about the man, and
Right, right.
that's problematic and annoying to me. Why are you telling me about what I might not be, how I might not be palatable for this man that doesn't even exist right now?
Thank you. I'm like, who is this person that's gonna have a problem with my social media that does not exist in my life right now?
Yeah, see, that's the stuff that why I'm saying transparency to me is the way to go for me because everything that I'm doing right now are the things that I feel like I was created to do. So I shouldn't have to stop them because you're in my life. Because although I do feel like, your husband, that position is very important to me. I've always respected and obeyed, even though that word, I don't like that word, obeyed my husband. I didn't defy my
Submitted
husband.
to.
Yeah, I did it. Submissive. I didn't,
Yes.
I didn't, I didn't defy them. However, I existed as myself in those relationships. So,
Wow.
and I remember I was working at a job, one of my favorite jobs in the whole world, and my supervisor, it was an older white man. He knew I had gotten engaged, and he was asking me, "Oh, how's it going?" Da, 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 da. And I was saying, "I think I might be too blunt for him." Turned out I was too blunt for him, but we're not going to talk about that. I said I might be too blunt for him, and he said, um, he asked me, "Well, how are you going to handle it?" And I was like, "I don't know. I guess I'm going to try to be less blunt." He said, "Never do that. You need to
Wow.
be with someone who appreciates and loves your bluntness. There's someone who is going to appreciate you exactly as you are." He was like, "Women make a mistake of trying to change themselves to attract a man. You're going to eventually resort back to that because that's who you are. So, over time, you might decide for yourself that you want to change that about you, but it shouldn't be for somebody else, and especially not a man. If he can't handle the way that you speak and so it was, I remember that to this day. That was like 18 years ago. So I don't think
Wow.
that people should try to become palatable for someone else. No, we
Wow.
should improve ourselves for ourselves and because it's better. But if it's not, if it's only because this one doesn't like, he doesn't like orange, so I try not to wear orange. He doesn't like that I talk loud, so I try not to talk loud. Like, I don't agree with those kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, I am so glad you're like, because you're like a life coach, right? So
Yeah.
you're low key coaching me right now, girl.
That's hilarious. And I've
Yeah.
never had clients. I post, I make videos about things, but I've never had a client. I don't even like the life coaching industry, to be honest. I took my life coaching course when I was married because there was things going on in my life and in my ex-husband's life, and I wanted to find a way to help. And so I'm a self-help person. That's what I've always done. What my tooth hurts? Let me go look up a remedy. That's just how I am. So I looked up the remedy. It took me to this life coaching course. I took it, and it's actually what I know caused me to end up having the courage to get a divorce. It was all the things that became in alignment, and he was no longer in alignment with my future. So it's kind of like what was the impetus for me to get a divorce. But it's like now it's just a natural thing. Like I just know certain things, certain methods, certain tools, and they just
Wow.
flow. I'm not even realizing that I'm doing it, but it's like, yeah, I've never
You're
had an
doing it
actual
right now,
client.
and you need, I feel like I hope inshallah you will get to reach out to more Muslim women, who can
Inshallah,
benefit from your knowledge and your wisdom and experience. Because like I
inshallah.
said, it's all about, building that tribe and that community. And,
Yeah,
we're all like, going through something that's gonna help us, uplift one another, you
pleasure.
know?
That's what I started the group for. That was the beginning
Yes.
of my official start of life coaching. That's what that group
Wow.
was created for. I started it because I was at the time that I started, it's like I started before I was actually fully ready to start it, just so that it's there. And now I have that pressure of now do something with it because I've been postponing it for years. For I think it
Wow.
was 2018 when I got my life coaching certificate. And then I took
Congratulations.
cognitive, thank you. Then I went and got a CBT certificate or, licensing or whatever. Well, actually, it's a certificate. It's not licensing. Those are two different things. But I took that course because I just fell in love with the whole idea of rewiring your brain to do amazing things that you have inside of you, but you just don't know how to get to it. Like you don't have the tools to get to it.
About this
Just
group that
sounds.
you just
Oh,
created.
okay.
Yeah. Because I'm in the group as well. I'm in the Facebook group, right?
Yeah, yeah,
What is it
yeah.
called again?
It's called Muslims Thrive. So this is something the
Wow.
group I created years ago. I just never
Wow.
started it. It was sitting there from years ago. So if you go all the way back, unless I deleted it because I have a tendency to do things like that. But if you go all the way back and see when the group was created, it was years ago. But it's
Wow.
like
Wow.
now I finally feel like I've been divorced for 2 years, and in the chaos of my divorce or in the chaos of my marriage, actually, there's so many things I wasn't doing that it's like I don't know if you know Anissa in Houston, the women's
Mm-mm.
organization. It's a women's,
Yes. I've
yeah, it's
heard of
like
it.
a
I
leads
heard.
women and something. Yeah, years ago, I was supposed to have started an initiative there, do workshops. My life was so chaotic because of my marriage that I couldn't really do much of anything. It was like the day to day, taking care of me, taking care of my children. That's all I really had the energy or mental capacity for. But now, so I'm just like everywhere now. It's like, let me do all this stuff because a lot could take me. So now I feel like I finally have the stability, the mental and emotional stability and spiritual stability to do all these things. So that's what
Inshallah.
kind of was, the propelling thing that allowed me a lot of things in the last like 2 or 3 weeks. It's like launch, 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 launch. So
Yeah,
yeah.
if we could totally post this conversation there too,
Oh yeah, that would be great. Wow,
right?
mashallah.
Like
Yeah, that
just
would be
so that
cool.
they could get to know you better and us better, and I'm also in the community. Like
Yeah.
because this is my first time doing it from I guess the recording point of view, because
Okay.
last time I kind of did live, but I think it will let me um edit and like or I don't know if it lets me edit. It says record only. But once I
Well, when you
publish it,
stop
I'll
it,
give you.
maybe.
Huh?
Maybe when you stop it, it'll allow you to go back and do stuff to it, maybe.
Sure, sure. I'm gonna experiment because I'm still kind of new to this whole thing. But once I have it published and I can send you the link and you can kind
Okay.
of revise it. And if you feel like, hey, I talked too much, I shared too much, we can always take it down too, you
Oh,
know?
you're so sweet. That's so sweet.
Eh,
No, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm dealing with several different things, allergies, all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, I hope I don't look crazy. Cause I don't like the way I sound or the way I look usually when I get done and I'm looking, I'm like, oh my God. So that'll
I
probably
mean,
be part of it.
you guys go live all the time, the sisters, right?
Yeah, but okay, so this is something that my family and friends get mad when I say it. However, I am very shy. I have a shyness that is, and my name means shy. So there's a shyness about me. And so when I'm doing it, it's like I'm passionate. I love it. We need to help people. Yes. But then once it's old, I don't want to see myself now. I don't want to like, so what, editing my YouTube videos is painstaking. I love the editing process, but listening to my voice or me say this thing over and over again, or why did I say it like that? Or so it's that for me. It's like I'm comfortable doing it when I'm doing it, but I don't want to go back and then look at it.
Right,
If that
right.
makes sense.
Okay, and then you don't have to if you don't want to, but I'll give you the link. You could do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
I think it'll upload to my channel
Yeah. Okay.
automatically.
Yeah.
And then like if you're like, hey, you know what? Let's do a round two. Like I'm
Yeah.
pretty flexible. I'm pretty flexible if, because I know like we're being super vulnerable and we're talking about like things that are,
I'm okay.
not really talked about.
No, I'm
And
fine. That's what I
yeah.
do all the time anyway. I'm
Yeah,
fine
so
with it.
yeah. As long as you're fine with it, I'm
Yeah.
fine with it.
Yeah, no, I'm
So
fine. I'll probably take some snippets out though and like put them on my Instagram and
yeah,
link them
yeah,
to
you
your
can do
channel.
whatever you want. Like
Yeah.
I said, I will give you whatever product is produced, and once it's
Yeah.
published, the link will be like public for everybody, and you can take
Okay.
screenshots or screen recordings, whatever you're comfortable with, because I
Yeah.
know we are reaching our 1 hour mark, and I know you do have to go back, so we could do a part two, like maybe sometime after the holidays, because
But
I
it's up to
mean this
you.
was, yeah, it was
If you
like
still
I feel
good
like
to keep going, I'm good. I made Zora already, so I don't have to
okay.
pray.
Yeah, because I
So
was like, okay, I wanted to talk about one more thing with you
okay.
specifically, because
Okay.
I've been, on the Watts Street, and we've talked
Yeah.
about children, and
Yeah.
some people, like I've told you, like I was married once and I was divorced. I do not have any kids,
Yeah.
and I'm taking a pause when it comes for looking for companionship.
Yeah.
And I don't want to really waste any guy's time because I'm not in a rush to like have kids.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some men there who are very intentional, they're like, oh, I want to be a father. I don't want to
Yeah.
waste time with a woman who doesn't want
Hmm.
children.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I feel like you were one of the only Muslim people out there who was somewhat understanding when I said, like, hey, like I don't think I
Yeah.
want kids, especially not right now. Like I'm 33. Maybe when I'm 37, I don't know. Maybe I'll have a change of heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I
Um,
don't know. Like, go on, sorry.
I mean, for me, I don't know if you were done. I was trying to not let this be
Yeah,
too
like
much
I
dead
just
air.
like I would say. I guess my question is like, how sh- should I just put a pause on seeking companionship? Period. If I don't want to have children
If you don't want them at all, or if you don't want them immediately.
immediately.
If you are open to having children, I would say this: if you find someone who doesn't want to have children immediately too, that's absolutely perfect. Because let me tell you, I was pregnant 2 weeks into my marriage. Okay, in my first marriage. It is not, I just do not think that's a good idea. I think you have to get to know each other. If Allah does it. So, but if you meet someone and y'all can travel and just do and get and bond and be best friends before a child comes into the mix, that's wonderful to me. I think that's perfect. When people get married, they barely know each other, they barely know themselves, then they don't know each other, and then there's a child talking, "Wah!" Like I just feel like that's a lot. So to me, that's perfect. Now, someone may get nervous about your age or their age, or, depending on, because, like you said, you start planning the wedding. There are a lot of people who have their whole life planned. I
Yeah.
feel like that's, well, men do it more than women, I feel, in my observation, where they have the whole life plan. And it's like, Psych, I'm a person over here. I have things that I want to do with life too. It's not other
Mhm.
than just be your wife. So people will have a idea about what they want. And if they're seeking marriage, a lot of times if men are seeking marriage, they're probably already seeking marriage because they're ready to start having children. Like I feel like, and I don't notice a big difference when it comes to Muslim men versus non-Muslim men, where it's like they're chilling until they're ready to start a family and settle down. Like I feel like that kind of trend still exists somewhat in the Muslim community too. So I think it's more likely that a man who's ready to marry is going to want children right away, but it's not all the time. That's not always the case. I've come to know many men in different groups that say they don't want children for the next 5 years. They don't want to start having children until they're 40, until they finish this or do that. So I think it's very possible that you'll meet someone who doesn't want to have children right away.
Okay, what about like never?
If you never want to have children, I mean, are you saying should you not bother getting married?
Hmm.
No, I think you should get married and be okay with being in polygyny.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
want,
I agree. I agree. 100%. I
yeah,
was telling a friend this. A friend just asked me this. How do you feel about being a second wife or having,
yeah,
someone having a second wife? And I told her right away, I was like, I'm completely open to it, especially knowing that I don't want children. And if he
girl.
has children, from a previous marriage or wants to have a partner who wants to give him children, like I am not gonna be like, no, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Then everything's
I'm
lovely.
Yeah, but like, is it like what's the word? Like, like some people just don't get it. Like some people don't get that there are women out there who don't want to be mothers, you know?
There are some people out there who don't get a lot of stuff, but that's not your business. Like what
Mhm.
you're doing with you is for you. And for me, the reason why I don't know if you've noticed that on my post, I say mastering the art of you. And the reason why I say master the art of you is because I feel like a lot of our life, like we are born in this world by ourselves and we are going to go back to Allah by ourselves. And a lot of the in between is us trying to satisfy other people, our parents, our siblings, our boss, our this, our that, and we're not in alignment with who we're supposed to be. If you don't feel, why would you have children when you don't have a disposition right now to have them just for the sake of someone else or the community's opinion? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying this to you directly, but I'm just saying in general, I'm not having children or not having children because the community looks at me some kind of way. I have a lot of children. Do you know how the looks I get when people say, "Oh, how many children do you have?" And I say I have 8. They're like, you know what I'm saying? So part of it is how I was raised as well. We were raised in a way like we were very poor when we were growing up. My sisters and I, my older sister and I shared clothes. Okay. So it was like we had so few clothes that we shared clothes. But my mother was like, listen, if you have 2 dresses, you wash them, you iron them, and you put them on like it's your 50th dress. You don't wear whatever that thing is. You don't you walk out, you're a Muslim. Okay. So whatever it is you're doing is perfect because you are worshiping your Lord. So to me, the people who are saying, how could you not want children? Shame on you. A lot of times we judge other people based on our own fears, what we are afraid of other people judging us for. So we project that and put that onto somebody else. They're used to the trope of if you're a Muslim woman, you have to be a Muslim woman whose intent is to have children. You have to be the wife, the dutiful wife. You have to be, listen, this is on topic, but a little bit of deviation. My daughter, when she was in madrasa, she was maybe about 14 years old. She said, Umi, no, like all the girls, all they're doing, that like very few of them are even going to college because they're just going to get married. Like their role, like they feel like their whole life is just, I'm just gonna finish high school and just become a wife. And it's like we have too many examples of the Sahabas and the wives of the Sahabas being so many things that we just don't acknowledge or something when in our everyday lives or in the way we interact with each other we don't acknowledge those things and I don't understand. I don't understand. There are women who Allah did not give the ability to have children. So because you say, I don't want children, maybe the reasons that you have for not wanting children are very valid and are better that you don't have children. Do people even
Hmm.
get involved in that? Do they say, well, why? Do they go dig into it? Do they go deeper? Or are they just being judgmental? I'm sorry,
Hmm.
that was a tangent, but
No, no, it was
are
totally
they?
off. No, it was going deeper into like why you may not want that for yourself, and
Yeah,
you have maybe medical, psychological, psychiatric reasons, or some genetic reasons, or financial culture, like things that you're like, maybe you're in debt, and you want to
yeah.
not bring children into that.
Or maybe you feel like you're so busy with what you're doing, you don't have time for those children. Maybe on the worst end, you're just selfish. And that would just be a character flaw. But we all have them. It's just ours is different. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. For me, I think that we're so quick to be judgmental. And just because it's not what we would choose, but you're not me. I'm not you. So worry about you and yours. Make sure your children like you. How about that? Are you
Right.
kind to your children? Do they love you? When you get older, will they come and take care of you? Or have you alienated them so much? Like, there's so many layers to the conversation. When someone decides that they want to judge me for something that I'm doing, or in my presence, judge someone else for choosing something different than they've chosen, it's like you're choosing that because of the way your life has developed up to this point. But we're different people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that for me,
Wow.
that's the thing. And usually when people ask me questions, I ask them a question back. When they're intruding in my business. When they're intruding in my business.
Yes, yes. Uh-huh. That's a good way, you know?
Yeah, ask them a question back. And a lot of
Yeah.
times when you return to people what they give to you, they're shocked. How could you? You just did.
Mm.
You just did.
Yeah.
Listen,
Wow.
if you can do that within the sunnah, you can return in kind. The best thing is to not, but as long as you don't exceed the limits, you can definitely eye for an eye. Okay. You want to ask me an
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable question? Let me ask you one.
Yeah, yep, honestly,
And
yeah.
that specific person probably won't ask you another question. They probably
Yeah,
won't approach you or say something out the side of their necks.
they will not. They will not.
Right.
Absolutely.
But we
Yeah.
open ourselves up to attack by not dealing with it when we first experience it. And
Yes.
sometimes it takes the second or third time to where you're fed up, like, oh, this is a pattern with you. But if you don't do something about it, then it's just going to keep coming. It's going to keep happening.
Yeah, you really
So I
have
don't know if I
to.
answered your question. I'm sorry. I don't
You
know if
did.
I
You did. You
actually.
absolutely did. You
Okay.
absolutely did. Yes.
Yeah.
And um let me just make sure. Um what was I gonna do? I was just getting a call. But okay, so
Okay.
we are at the 1 hour plus mark, so we can
Okay.
start to kind of wrap things up.
Okay.
And just to make sure, I'm able to publish it
Oh,
and
yeah.
able to do what I can, use a cute thumbnail, hopefully,
Do your
and
thing.
yeah, and just, I mean, I'm not even sure what I should name this because it was such a riveting conversation.
Um, I don't know what you should name it. I guess I don't know how you do editing. I look back over whatever I'm going to publish.
Yeah,
Um, so I don't know if you would do that with this in this case, but I think it'll come to you based on you know what you could do. As a matter of
yeah.
fact, I'll message you and tell you what you can do. I don't want to say this on a.
Okay, okay.
I don't.
Okay, we will end the recording, and then
Okay.
you can either, if it lets us still talk, you can tell me, like you can message
Okay.
me,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and then like depending on how things go in the next few months. I mean, I would love to have you back and talk more about
Absolutely.
life coaching part, because I mean, you were basically doing that without even like doing it. You're
Wow.
living it.
Mashallah. Mashallah.
Yeah.
Wow. And when do we get to question 5 of the 75 list?
Oh yeah, we didn't even get to like I skipped to the 10th one, the religious one, and I was like, okay, now let's talk about, Juma, and then it went
Yeah.
to preferences and then the babies,
Wow.
and
Wow.
pursuing and not pursuing and
Yeah.
courting and all of that. I think it
Yeah.
is exactly what I needed out of
Oh,
this.
mashallah.
Uh,
And
yes.
alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. So anyways, I'll end the recording and then I'll give you a message on Facebook, okay?
Okay, inshallah. Okay.
Okay. Okay, bye.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.